Yo, what's up guys? It's Buzz back again, and I'm here for my week 4 team building video versus Medi, and the Vibravas here. I completely forget what their city is. Anyways, he's got an extremely threatening team. Landorus, Incarnate, Mega Altaria, Infernape, Empoleon, Regirock, Electros, Gothitelle that has Shadow Tag. He has Zoroark, which is just more annoying. Illusion shenanigans. He also, on top of that, has a ton of other threats that are just stupid good. So we are really going to have to play our best. We're going to have to make predictions. I don't think I can just win it by playing straightforward. I have to make predictions. That is the best way to win this match. And some of these predictions are going to have to be ballsy predictions. Otherwise, I'm not so certain if I can win this game. So here we are. We're starting off with the Landorus. Landorus coming back for the 4th straight week. 3rd week with the Yachi Berry. It's got Intimidates, Rock and Earthquake, Rocks, Hidden Power Ice, and U-Turn. This thing is pretty much my Lando Eye answer. He's probably going to have Hidden Power Ice on his Landorus. So I just said, this is going to be my counter with the Yachi. He could very well have a Yachi. But we have to have Hidden Power Ice on this. And even with the Jolly Nature, it's still 2-hit KOs Landorus which is good. U-Turn at least helps us not get trapped by Gothitelle. Earthquake Okos Empoleon without Shuka Berry, of course. It Okos Infernape. I believe it Okos his Regirock as well. Man, his team is just so good. But this thing is looking to put in work. That's a very peculiar EV spread. The HP allows us to not be too KO'd by Lando. Even Lando's HP Ice with the Yachi. The attack allows us to get a guaranteed 2-hit KO on the Gothitelle with Earthquake. Spadef is for, again, HP Ices. Even Infernape's HP Ice. And the speed still outpaces, if it really matters, max speed Zangoose. Now we move on to our Megalopony here. Rockin' Ice Punch, High Jump Kick, Return, and Fake Out. Fake Out's going to be really useful this match. It's going to stop any Zoroark illusion shenanigans right off the bat. That is exactly what I want to happen. Then we have to run High Jump Kick in order to knock out Registeel. Dream Punch just doesn't have the power it needs to be. He could run a random Chocolate Berry somewhere, but if he does, that's okay by me. If it's anywhere, it's probably going to be on his Zoroark. Return hits everything pretty much hard. Landorus is 2-hit KO'd. He really doesn't have a switch into Return. Same with Ice Punch. Okos Landorus 2-hit KOs is Mega Altaria. And in general, hits a lot of things hard. I also forgot to mention High Jump Kick easily 2-hit KOs Electros, which is great to have. This thing is easily a win condition. It's probably going to be the Mon that I'm going to be setting up for a late game sweep with, even if I'm leading off with it to get a Fake Out off straight away. This thing needs to be Mega'd. Now we go on to our Mandibuzz making its first appearance. It's rocking Brave Bird, Toxic, Roost, and U-Turn. Now, you might be saying, yeah, Brave Bird is counterproductive, but it needs Brave Bird this week. It absolutely demolishes his team. Would you believe it? It has a shot to Oko and Infernape. It 2-hit KOs the Zoroark. Toxic lures in a lot of his bulky mons like Electros, Regirock, even Mega Altaria if it doesn't have Heal Build, that could be nice. Roost, obviously, to keep Mandibuzz alive. It's probably my best wall against things like Infernape, Lando Eye, even with Rock Slide, and a ton of other things. U-Turn, obviously not to be trapped by Gothitelle, even though I doubt he'll send Gothitelle out against this thing, or just to get Switch Initiative. It's always nice to have some momentum on your side. And the EV spread, 72 defense, allows us to not be too KO'd by banded close combat from Infernape. The Spadaffe easily allows us to eat up any Volt Switch from Electros. HP, of course, is just for general utility, hitting things hard. Now we move on to our MVP from last week, Chandelure, rocking the Assault Vest with Fire Blast, Shadow Ball, Hidden Power Ice, and Psychic. This is a more bulky Chandelure. It's needed. It 1v1s his Infernape very well. This thing can pretty much live in Earth Power from his Landorus Eye, which is amazing. It can easily eat up anything from the Gothitelle. Shadow Ball barely does anything. Ryoko back with Shadow Ball. Just overall great. It walls Mega Altaria without Earthquake. It OHKOs Landorus with Hidden Power Ice. Shadow Ball puts in a ton of work. Psychic OHKOs the Infernape. Non-special defense. Empoleon gets 2-KO'd by Shadow Ball into Fire Blast. This thing outspeeds a lot of his team, which is really great. Overall, this thing is just going to put in a ton of work. I really expect this thing to be maybe a weakener of Medi's team. Really could set up for the Megalopony sweep, which is what I'm aiming for. Now we move on to Starmie, who is rocking the Colbur Berry with Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, and Rapid Spin. Now, my Starmie, it's not my go-to Zoroark answer, but this thing can actually be a very good answer and lure for the Landorus if he decides to be cheeky and be scarfed and stay in and knock off. It can OHKO Zoroark back with Hydro Pump. Thunderbolt hits the Empoleon hard. Ice Beam 2-KOs Mega Altaria. OHKOs his Landorus. Hydro Pump OHKOs the Infernape. Hydro Pump 2-KOs Gothitelle. This thing just puts in so much work. Hydro Pump OHKOs the Regirock if we break Sturdy. This thing is just a monster versus his team. It can even, I wouldn't say 1v1 his Electros, but if he overpredicts and goes for HPI, he's trying to catch Landorus. I'm just going to stay in and try to weaken it with Hydro Pump. It does around, I believe it's a 3-hit KO on it, which is overall really good. And now going on to our last Mon, Weezing, with Black Sludge rocking Sludge Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Thunderbolt, and Taunt. Taunt stops the Regirock from setting up rocks on us. It also stops any stupid setting up from Mega Altaria. Sludge Wave, 2-KOs Mega Altaria, 2-KOs Zoroark, 2-KOs Infernape. Wisp cripples Mons like Mega Altaria, like the physical, if he ever did run it, physical Landorus. Thunderbolt hits Empoleon for about 30%ish, which is really nice chip damage for most of my Mons. And overall, this spread, just for maximum defensive walling, this thing really doesn't care for Infernape. This thing can be has a shot to be OHKO'd by Extra Sentry from Zoroark, but that's only if it specs. I don't expect the specs Zoroark. If I do, Mandibuzz still walls it absolutely completely. So overall, I'm really happy with how this team turned out. I think we can win this game. there's going to be a lot of threats, but I have to predict a lot, but I put myself in the best position possible. Almost brought Granbull, but it's easily exploitable for him with Landorus, especially with setting up rock polishes and all that. So overall, I just said I'm not going to bring it, and he doesn't really have a great switch into Noivern, but the reason I'm not bringing that is because, one, Empoleon is his best switch in, and Empoleon being in is not good. I don't really like being burned. Bisharp could have come, but I just thought Weezing was more useful. I originally had Pinsir as a Scarf Pinsir, but I scrapped that after I ran Calcs. Rotom could have been brought. In fact, it was probably the closest to being brought. But the overall tankiness of Electros led me away from not bringing it. And while Poliwrath is Poliwrath, it doesn't do much against his team. So that's all for this game. I'll be back with the actual game on Sunday. So that'll be hype. And for now, guys, I am out.